Good, how are you? Well, hello there. It's been a while, hasn't it? Guys, I have not posted in a while, and the last video I talked about doing a tutorial, so you're probably a little disappointed to see that I'm not currently in a gym. Sorry, I've been doing a lot of thinking lately, so I took a little break. I was thinking of doing tutorials for a while, and I started realizing I was doing it as like a tactic to get attention, and I don't want to be that guy, I realize. But I did think that I like telling stories. That's kind of where my main passion is, so I want to stick with that. And I like doing it with acrobatics and circus and all that jazz. So just kind of being honest with those things, that's what I'd like to do. And just continue making stories that way instead of, I suppose, doing what I see other people doing. So, having said that, you're probably wondering where I am, and I'm in London, England. I came out an audition for a contemporary dance company that wanted to use circus. It's with the director's Lloyd Newsons, so that was kind of a big deal. Not sure if you've heard of him, but kind of, if you do theater and dance, I think that's where he's most known. So I'm gonna... Alright, so I just got out of the audition. We're breaking for lunch at the moment. And, there was a lot of ballet. Like, the first thing we did was ballet. I've never done ballet before, so it was, needless to say, awkward. It was very awkward. I feel like the amount of dance that's going to be in this the show kind of says that I'm not going to get in. I'm going to keep trying. We'll see how the aerial portion goes tomorrow. So we spent between 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. just working on dance and movement stuff, and it was like the detail work of the emotions behind things was really important, but in combination with stuff like ballet and contemporary movement, and it was all mixed together. It was hard, especially because that's not only not my expertise, it's way out of my comfort zone. So yeah, fingers crossed for tomorrow that I just blow it out of the water with the aerial. But man, that was definitely, it was challenging. They asked me to be sexy at one point, which, oh, my train's here, which, yeah, that's not my area of expertise. It's probably not even my area of expertise, it's like the area that I definitely struggle with in terms of theater stuff. Alright, let's get on this train. Gonna go to Trapeze Rig, ready? So it's the end of the second day. They made cuts today. I was one of the cuts, and I have to say it was probably one of the more inspiring cuts I've ever been a part of in this show before. I think if you ever have an opportunity to audition for anything Lloyd Newsons directs, go for it, because it's actually a really fun experience somehow, even if you don't get whatever it is you're auditioning for. Really nice guy. Partly due to the fact that the way Lloyd sort of handled the whole thing is different than any other director that I've ever seen handle a cut before. He actually, at the end of the whole thing, kind of took us all aside, and not all aside, but like he took the group of us that he cut, he took us aside and kind of told us like what he needed to do and like his job and his brief for the role that he was hiring for. And what it really came down to is that though he invited a bunch of aerialists, specifically rope aerialists, to audition for this role, he needed them to be triple threats, essentially. This particular role required the person to be a well-trained aerialist, yes, but they had to be almost equally trained in dance and acting at the same time. Now, my particular background is primarily aerial, obviously, and theater and acting and film. Like that, those are the two things that I've done the most of. Dance, like not at all. And the first day was all ballet. Like literally, I think the first 3 hours was just ballet work. So needless to say, I struggled just a little bit. I was riding the struggle bus throughout most of the dance portion of it. And what was funny is he told us at one point someone who previously had this role was Jean-Paul Zaccarini, which I don't know if I've shared it before, but Jean-Paul Zaccarini has been like my inspiration when it comes to building circus acts. When I find out that I'm auditioning for a role he had, my immediate response was, oh yeah, if you just said you were looking for a Jean-Paul Zaccarini type, I'm not your guy. Because he's phenomenal. That guy has the three things down. Like, I've taken a workshop from Jean-Paul. He has them down. I've seen him do dance, acting, and I think he even does all three in his lecture. If anything, I might as well just show you his lecture, though it's like 2 hours long, I think. But he's got a PhD in circus performance theory. So, yeah, kind of a deal. Moving along. He tells us that's the role we want, so immediately I don't feel bad knowing that I was trying to fill the shoes of Jean-Paul Zaccarini. So yeah, one of the guys that was there also talked about how he was interested in dance and wish he had put more time in dance, and that's where Lloyd kind of changed things. I think, or not changed things, but he kind of gave advice that's not the normal type of advice that I think a lot of directors give for performers at auditions that didn't make the cut. He actually tells us if it's not something you're into, don't go after it. Because he talks about a story how he was, Lloyd says he was a mediocre dancer when he was younger, trying to get into a company that he really liked. And like it was his dream all company that he wanted. And I think he auditioned like 5 times maybe, I think, by the time they said like, hey, listen, you don't have what we're looking for ultimately all around. And though it hurt him to hear those words, he then ended up, instead of focusing on the audition for that particular company, he spends time on himself to find his voice and his interests with his craft, and becomes the creator of Deviate, which is like a major contemporary dance company. And he's done so much work that he's respected in both the dance world and the theater world and the circus world. So for these amazing things to happen, sometimes you gotta face really crappy things you didn't want to happen or lose out on the things you wanted. So that was really great advice to hear from him, for him to take the time like that to talk to us. Like, he got teary-eyed in the end because he said ultimately he liked everyone as an aerialist and thought we were all powerful aerialists, but at the end of the day he had a really specific brief that he was looking for. And I didn't realize that, I think, until probably midway or end of day one. Had I known that coming in, maybe I wouldn't have come out, but I probably still would have come out. It's good to know what he's looking for and knowing my strengths and weaknesses. And I wouldn't even necessarily call it a weakness. It's more of interests. I've never really been too interested in dance, so how could I say like, oh, I need to get better at dance when it's not my interest? So kind of like he said, it's like, if it's not your interest, don't do it. Like, you've got your thing to do and your thing to bring, so focus on that. You don't know what's going to come of it unless you work on it. And so overall, I think that experience in and of itself is kind of what made it so inspiring. It was told us to keep on doing what we're interested in because we don't know what's going to come of it, rather than being so heartbroken over not getting to do something someone else is, or not getting to help someone else with their dream. We still have ours that we can work on. So yeah, I think I'm gonna end this vlog here. I've still got some time in London. Oh, I turned off my light. There we go. still have some time in London. I want to explore it a bit, and I've got some friends to visit, some trapeze rigs to visit. So we're gonna, I mean, we already visited one. I think that's on there already, or I think that's on here already. So let's just go do some exploring and see what stories will come of that. I think a little documentation of this whole experience will be quite fun. So, ooh, it's getting gloomy already. Okay, so we gotta get going. Let's do Gorilla Circus on the next vlog, yeah? Okay, see you guys next time, and I hope you enjoy this new, is it new? I feel like I'm kind of doing the same thing, but I'm just gonna share more. Yeah, cool. I'll see you guys next time.